Boyles.
Okay, this is our simple family. We're wild, rambunctious. It's a lot of fun to be together. We love hanging out and just doing random things all the time. My wife's always wanted to be a full-time mom, and one thing that I wanted is I wanted to be able to be loving life, loving my children. I always wanted to be a big part of their life and always be able to spend as much time and do whatever I could with them, and I just didn't have the time. I had to find a way to do it.
I got married really young, so when I was 19, I was getting divorced, moved back home with my parents, and I had my daughter, and I got a job at Wendy's because the hours worked with my mom babysitting. And Clint and his friends came through the drive-thru one night and asked me for my phone number, and that's how we met.
So we got married May 19th of 2006.
Yeah, we did things backward. We had, like you said, we had 2 kids in the 3 years between meeting and getting married, so.
I, at that time, was actually working in a warehouse, distribution center. And when we actually got married and we had 3 kids, and I was, earning $11 to $15 an hour, it wasn't enough, and that's when I decided.
Well, I started going to school, so he told me, because I was trying to do school and work and take care of the kids, and it got to be crazy, so he said, you know what, quit working and I'll take care of you while you go to school. And
I went back home, and that's
so
when
we had one income. And
that's when we went back to Winnemucca, Nevada, and I started mining. And I first started out on surface, driving big, massive 180 to 300 ton haul truck and running heavy equipment. So we went to Nevada for a year, and then I got a phone call to go underground. And the underground was actually about an hour and 45 minutes away, and we worked 12 to 14 hours. And that's where I started doing drilling and explosives in the underground gold mines. I got laid off for the first time in the mining industry, and we moved to Denver, Colorado. I started working in an underground mine up there, doing some drilling and dealing with explosives up there.
we were at our daughter's Halloween party at school, and Clint's phone rang, and there's like 100 kids running around and stuff, and so I just was kind of focused elsewhere. And I looked over at him just to kind of, gauge what was going on. And his face had just dropped, and he just had this look, and I was like, oh crap, something's wrong. So he got off the phone, and I said, what's going on? And he said, I don't have a job. They said, don't come in tomorrow.
October 31st, 2008 is when they called me up and laid me off for the second time.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of the beginning of our journey of figuring out what we were going to do different.
We were saving up to try to buy a house at the time. So I had taken a part-time job as a waitress just to make extra money to save for a down payment. And so we were looking at each other going, between your unemployment and if I went full-time, could we make it? Can we meet the bills and whatever? And we just weighed all the different factors and didn't feel like that was
possible.
It wasn't gonna work out. So we ended up moving in with my mom in Missouri, and we lived in a house with 14 people in it for about a year and a half. And for me, that was pretty normal. For Clint, that was like, oh my gosh. So
space was not given.
But that's where we were supposed to be, because that's where we met Seth Campbell and we got introduced to LifeVantage. So
the last possession we owned, after losing everything in Colorado and after moving in with mother-in-law, was a motorcycle.
that was paid off.
It was
so
paid
it was
off.
ours.
It was ours. It was a possession that I'd worked hard for. It was a bullet bike. It was worth about 10 grand.
That was awesome.
And I sold it for $3,000 in a matter of a week to get myself enough money.
We made enough to get to San Diego.
Ribbon cutting was going to happen, and we sold it. We got the money, we booked our tickets.
We booked flights, rental car, and hotel.
And her and I went down there, and it changed the course of our life forever. I always wanted something more out of life. I've always been driven. I'd come home from work and tell her, there's got to be a way to make the money I make, but at the same time be able to be home, because I never got to be home with the family. When I got shown this, I came home and I was pretty excited, and she pretty much said, no way.
Yeah, I did.
She said, it's network marketing, I want nothing to do with it. I was excited. I was excited for a new opportunity in a different way. And what excited me is in order for me to succeed, I had to help people that wanted something different. When you find out what people truly want out of life, life manages it, they just don't know it. And what I had went through with losing my job and being laid off, and then being introduced to this opportunity that I could build time freedom.
A lot of people, they don't even realize something's missing, but if you start talking to them, they start, like their time is missing, or the finances to do the things they want is missing. And if you get people talking, you find out what's missing.
Help enough people get what they want, and you'll always get what you want.